One of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 aims is changing the reality for residents in Saudi Arabia, making it more vibrant and culturally rich.
When you enter the Muqar, you are entering another world. And what that means is you can go to sleep on planet Mars, you can wake up in New York City.
The new Murabba is a transformative urban development in Riyadh, which is backed by Vision 2030. It aims to create the world's largest modern, vibrant and sustainable downtown. Joining me now is its CEO, Michael Dyke. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Hello, Anna.
So, you've been in this role for just over a year now. This is your first year in the role. Tell us about the journey so far.
So the journey so far has been big, it's been fast, and we are moving on all fronts. So momentum is building. If I could take the analogy of an aeroplane, we are now in air, and we are climbing to 30,000 feet, and we're very clear about our destination. This
is a very popular project here in Saudi Arabia, but for all of our viewers who are not familiar with the project, please tell us about it.
So Murabba is part of Riyadh, most importantly, but it's in one of the best parts of town, which is presently undeveloped. So we're not remote from Riyadh. We're 19 square kilometers, and within that 19 square kilometers, half of the space will be allocated to green space and mobility, which makes it very unique in terms of quality of life. The other half will be developed, and we will have 27 million square meters of floor space that will be activated. We have 18 communities which move around Murabba. Each one community has 15 minutes as a philosophy, which means that you can get everything that you need in your downtown within 15 minutes, whether it's entertainment, medical care, going to school or university, or all the normal stuff you take for granted in your day-to-day life, even your dry cleaning. So that's around Murabba, but at the heart of Murabba is a physical structure which is the largest structure ever known to man or woman, which is called the Muqar.
So what are we'll go back to the Muqar, but what are the core aims behind the project?
Yes, so Murabba is here, one, to diversify the economy, so to actually create an engine for growth within the northwest corner of Riyadh. And equally, it's also very important to create a digital future, which is basically technology rich, and a place which actually improves the quality of life for Riyadh city residents and visitors internationally.
We hear the word transformative a lot, but what does it mean in real terms?
Well, if we look at Riyadh today, it's already a really busy, bustling city, and I think it's been very well managed over the years. There isn't a mixture of random assets. It's a very neat typology of low urban density. But what we know is that actually we need a place where people can go for 2 to 4 hours a week, as we know in many towns in the world. So with New Murabba, we will be taking the existing Salmani code, the architectural code, and elevating that to mid-rise and high-rise. So we'll be transforming Riyadh to create a true downtown, a place where people can go, in addition to the amazing Riyadh of today.
Back to Muqar. Why is there so much excitement about it?
Muqar is probably one of the most complex engineering undertakings ever known to man or woman. It masquerades as a building. So if we took the size, it's 400 meters wide, long, and deep, which means that on that basis, it makes it the largest building in the world. You can fit 20 Empire State Buildings inside Muqar, to give you an idea of scale. But most importantly, we will have on Muqar corner towers, and those corner towers will be places where people can live, work, play, go to school, go to university. We have the largest roof in the world, which is 16 hectares of activated space. But inside the Muqar is what makes it very special. We have the largest immersive experience in the world, 380 meters of height, 340 meters of diameter. It's about 400,000 square meters of immersive background. And our aim and our objective is to create another world. So when you enter the Muqar, you are entering another world. And what that means is you can go to sleep on planet Mars, you can wake up in New York City. And we will be creating content and technology which will have not just the visuals, but will also look, feel, smell, taste like you are in another world. So that's some of the aspects of Muqar, but there are so many more elements too.
Do you almost feel, would it be possible to build this anywhere else but in Saudi Arabia right now?
I think that Saudi Arabia has demonstrated huge vision under the guidance of His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman, and I think our challenge is to realize that vision and that expectation, and the Muqar is the arrival point for that.
To what extent is it challenging to combine this mix of traditional and modern? Because you spoke about a lot of content, a lot of very tech things, but then again there is a sense of bringing tradition.
It's very true, and Riyadh today is a is a beautiful city which has been carefully managed over the years. So what we have to do very skillfully is take the essence of the Saudi design code and the architectural guidelines and adapt those to bring them into the 21st century and beyond. So what we have to do is we have to think about how we take things like the Najdi facade, which is present around the whole of the Muqar. So that is probably the biggest testament you could say to the history, but also we can then take that and adapt it to take it from low level into high rise. Now I think what's also important to say is that anything that we put into Murabba, it must be worthy of Riyadh. And it's a phrase that we use all of the time. And sometimes it's difficult to nail that exactly, but we're taking the best parts of Riyadh, the heritage and the history, and lifting those into Murabba and carefully blending them with the future design.
So is there a strong sense of legacy and what will be left behind for the future generations?
Very much so, Anne. I mean, the legacy is enormous because if we think about it, the nature of what we're undertaking is to create a modern day marvel. It will become one of the next wonders of the world. So we have a duty and a responsibility to make sure that we don't just create a great place today, but we create something which will be there for hundreds of years, which will actually be available to be adapted, retrofitted, changed, to suit whatever society wants in that period of time.
What role does sustainability play in this project?
Sustainability is enormous to us. We have some very clear sustainability pledges. We sign on to the net zero by 2060, which our kingdom has signed on to. We also subscribe to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals as well. But what we have done as a very strong gesture at the beginning is taken half of the total estate and not developed it in the way that ordinarily may happen with a classic development. So 25% of green space will be dedicated to livability, exercise, walking, running, cycling, scootering. And the green space alone is the same as 2 times Central Park. And that's the gesture we are making. Of course, above and beyond that, every decision we take with a sustainable mindset.
And what role does hospitality play in the entire project?
Hospitality has an amazing part to play, so we will have about 9,000 or 10,000 hotel keys, and those will be distributed around all of the communities, and within the Muqar as well, we have a couple of thousand hotel keys there too. We have a central tower in the center, which is larger than the Eiffel Tower, and makes it the only high-rise in the world that lives inside a building, which is quite unique, and you can stay there as well as just visit. And we have hospitality around the rest of the estate, and in addition to that, we also have 350,000 square meters of retail, which means there is something for everyone.
How do you personally see the development of tourism in Saudi?
We see development tourism being a big thing. Clearly, Saudi is growing, Riyadh is growing, which means that there will be an expansion of the population in Riyadh, which is a big part of why New Murabba is required. But also we anticipate about 40% of the visitations coming into New Murabba and into Muqar every year will be international tourists. So we have the local Riyadh city residents, we have a lot of tourism from within the kingdom and within the Gulf states, but we have a lot of tourism from beyond. I think our expectation is that when we are fully live, beyond 2030, we would expect to see anywhere between 90 and 100 million visitations per annum just to the Muqar.
What are the challenges you would like to overcome when it comes to attracting more tourists to Saudi Arabia?
I think from our perspective, people who come to Saudi Arabia and who come to the kingdom realize how incredible the kingdom is. And I think our job is to promote the place, which is New Murabba, but it's a fundamental part of Riyadh. So my hope and aspiration is that in the future, when people think about where they're going to visit in the world, we all sit at home and we look at online at where we'd like to go. If you have one of the coolest physical places to visit in the Muqar, situated in one of the most beautiful modern day downtowns, attached to one of the best capital cities, all within a 20-minute journey from the airport, and a metro that connects right the way through and then back into the Riyadh of today, then I think we have a fantastic opportunity to promote Riyadh and to promote New Murabba.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.